Okay, let's start. Good evening, one and all. Hope you are all well. Welcome to Faithful Questions with Rev Dan. Another beautiful evening out there. The World Cup, just watched Curacao get beaten quite badly. I don't know what you think, if you're into the World Cup, what you think of this new format where they got more teams in, but it seems like there are kind of issues with not as good teams coming in. And so the old group stage where some of the bigger teams could get knocked out seemed like, in one way or another, with such weak teams coming in now, they're going to all get through. Don't know how that. I don't know where we are with football in this little community, but that's where I am. So yeah, 7-1 is a final, really. Not a final, is a warm up game. Like a friendly. So I'm just looking in front of me and just making sure I'm jumping around on my stream, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm not jumping around on your stream because I just updated the program that I used, and now it's saying there's not enough video. See, this is a problem when you update things. Tell me how it is on this. Is that the word? Yeah, it is. It is. You're not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. And this is annoying, isn't it? Because you get these programs. It says update, and you think every update's going to do better and to improve things, and then it doesn't. So it's saying it says my stream health is poor. That's like the local stream in the village after all the dumping of the sewage in there. So I'm gonna have to see if I can work this out on the fly, because this, you don't want buffering all the time. Or we could just pretend it's radio, can't we? You don't need to see my face. That'd be one thing. How many people listen and how many people watch? That'd be a good poll. I would do a poll if I didn't have to try look out the corner of my eye to try work out how to. And the thing is, you can't start this again. You can't just turn this off, because you have to stop the whole stream, and that's the annoying thing. And actually streaming, it's all because I'm actually streaming, it is locked off. So that's silly, isn't it? Imagine if you had a big, huge following, how annoying that would be. But anyway, we might have to listen tonight. It seems it might have settled down. It just tells me it's poor. We'll get through. If it gets too annoying, just I don't know, pretend it's radio. So, oh, it's healthy now. It's saying it's healthy. It's excellent and healthy, but it'll go off. As soon as it said it's healthy, it started buffering. It's probably better stuck on poor. So let me go. Francis buffering on this. Yeah. Catholic Knight, you broke up a little bit. I don't know if that was mine. Definitely here. Scotland held on they did hold on. Don't know how well they're going to do in the next couple of games. But they get through third. So, and then note buffering and reloaded the page. Lester, good evening, Rev Dan, and everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Russell and Valerie. Francis, it does seem okay now. It has been for a while. Let's just hope that it stays okay for a short while. Catholic Knight, you listen. Yeah, maybe I can do that poll just for fun. How do I do polls? Engage with your audience. It's got a little button. Start a poll. Let me do this. This is great. Do you watch or listen Where is it? Watch. Oh, knocking everything all over. Listen. There you go. It's a little poll. That gets interactive. Thing is, it comes up on my little thing, but I can't vote because I'm not logged in on my own channel. So, Billy, I know you can't say this word, but every so often updates tend to be poopy, poop. E-fiction, some mostly stable. Now I get an ad. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It updates are they're there to fix a problem, but then they just don't sometimes. Billy, happy to listen along. Do I owe you an apology? I put a link in the comments after last weekend's chat and haven't seen your live chat on the listing since. Did I do a bad thing? No, you didn't do a bad thing at all. Don't worry about that. Catholic night. I recently found out that our Anglican religious community, monks, nuns, of friars. What role do they play in the Anglican life? Pretty much the same as in the Catholic life, really. They're monastic communities. Be praying, ministering to the local area sometimes. Yeah, pretty much that's that kind of that rule of life, but very much praying. Not so big. Nowadays they're getting a lot smaller, but yeah, they are there in the same way, more or less the Catholic way is. Vincent, from a format perspective, I think very few third place team groups should make it through. Yeah, I and that's the thing. A lot of the third place team will go through, but they're not going to be the greatest team. So in my family, we did that predictor, and you went on, you predicted, and basically it's when you get to the quarterfinals, really, that's where the big teams are going to meet each other. It's only yesterday where Brazil and Morocco met. That's probably the biggest game, or one of the biggest games of the group stage. Portugal, Colombia, I think could be a good game. Slightly biased because my wife is from Colombia, so but you're not getting many big games. This is the problem. So yeah, so that's the football, and that's going to be on for the next few weeks. So it'll be coming up. Especially, I don't think there are any games. I have to be careful that there's no games on at 8 p.m. on a Sunday evening. That would be, especially if there's England on. It would be well. The other question is, it's an alternative. Not I can't remember. Not everybody likes football, so Lester, your dark horse is Japan. I think my son's dark horse could be Morocco, and they did, for as much as I did watch before I fell asleep. They looked very good playing against Brazil, but Brazil didn't look anything special. Not like the Brazil of yesteryear when they were feared. So the comment that you put on the video after the chat was a link to your GoFundMe thing you mentioned last week. I was worried your video got cancelled and not put on the channel's page list. No. It's, I think it's there. I'll have to look to see what's what. Jago, Japan versus Holland, 9 p.m. tonight. I've left the ITV on there, ready to go. You have tickets to Japan, Sweden, Vincent. That's very cool. I see that in the States, they put the prices up extraordinary amounts, like at the MetLife Stadium for food and to get out there. The cost of the train or something has gone up 300%. It's crazy. But that's very cool to go. I love to go to World Cup. The next World Cup is in Spain and Portugal and Morocco, so at least that'd be decent times, but that's 4 years away. Let's finish this one first, right? So, because it's all about timings, it feels slightly because half the games you're not watching, and yeah, just like it is a World Cup, but it isn't. Luckily, the Scottish game probably fell on the best night that you could have it on a Saturday night or even Friday night, so you haven't got to work the next day. But yeah, has some friends on a WhatsApp group chat earlier saying the atmosphere, that World Cup fever doesn't feel like it's hitting at the moment, and I think that's partly why. Michael's with me. Morocco's dark horse. Yeah, I think they could do well, but that's my son convincing me more than anything. I hope Colombia, of course. I hope Colombia. It's good when you got a foreign wife with a decent team, because if England got knocked out, and back in 2014, England got knocked out in the group stages, and so we watched Colombia. I think they went through to the quarterfinal, maybe even semi. I think probably the quarterfinal. So yeah. Billy, that's if travel is still permissible in 4 years' time. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we. If I could get tickets, I would go down by motorbike, of course, tracing my steps. So of where my journey will go. Just next month is crazy. It's getting busy to finish off here well the rector job and enable it to be left for 3 months, and then also getting ready for a major trip and a sabbatical. Yesterday I popped out a couple of times to test out filming gear on my motorbike, on my helmet, because I had to get a new helmet because my helmets were 5 years old and you need to change them maybe 3 to 5 years depending on the make, really. And so I'm getting used to the helmet. I had to try and get the camera equipment set up, and it's all faffy with things connecting. So I got 4 things connecting. I got my phone, and I got a little computer thing on my bike which will tell me the way to go and all those things. And then I got a Cardo so I can speak to my friend. And then I've got, what else is there? My phone connected to those. And then I got 2 cameras which use Bluetooth, and the other things are used wireless and Bluetooth, and you can't use it all at the same time. So I'm there riding on one camera. One camera is in front of me so I can see that it's recording, but it goes off, and then you think, are you still recording or did you turn off? And I got a camera on my chin going, I have no idea if you are recording. I just hope that I'm not wasting the 15-minute ride around. So, and it all worked. And then you get back and go, right, okay, so now how do I edit this? Because one of them is a 360 camera, which is incredibly useful because you can just put it on your bike and you can view yourself, you can view the road in front and things like that. But it is like, how do now I make a 360 on the video editing with this other video, and it's a whole steep learning curve. So yeah, so it's busy in that way. So Jakey K, do you have any thoughts on the rise of Islamism in the UK as a Christian? The website 5 Pillars, for example, has openly argued for gambling and alcohol to be made illegal if there were enough Muslims. I'm buffering. If I'm buffering, I'm sorry. It's luckily there's not a lot of action. As long as my voice comes through, you can get me like that or like that. Hopefully it's a flattering pause when I do get buffered. Do you have any thoughts on the rise of Islam in the UK as a Christian? Well, I think I think whether it's Islam or secularism or whatever it is, not, sometimes we don't want to get lost in one. I think anything that isn't Christian is a danger to leading the people astray away from Christianity. And those who don't proclaim Christ as their Lord and Savior will be going to hell. And that's pretty much where I've always been. So some it comes and goes, and at the moment it's Islam that's the big concern. Before there was a whole load of secularism, militant atheism we had just like 15, 20 years ago, even less. And we'll always go through different things, the Enlightenment many years ago. So they will always have effect on society as well, whatever is the leading thought at the time. And yeah, with Islam, they will, of course, it comes with what they believe, because it's not, as they say, a religion. It's basically a way of life, isn't it? It's a whole ecosystem where they have government and law and ways to live and things like that. So yes, is there a concern? Yes, but also I do understand, and when I say this, that God's on the throne, and He is not shocked where we might be worried. We shouldn't be so worried. We can be concerned, but then we start praying, don't we? And interceding in this situation. So I don't think they can argue for alcohol and gambling to be made illegal, and if there were enough, yes. But I don't think at this stage it's not like that. And there's a whole thing with government as well. So and law and process. But God's on the throne. And we need to pray and fast as Christians in this nation. Billy, isn't summer a busy time for weddings for clergy? It can be, but we had a wedding last weekend. I was speaking to the photographer briefly, and she was saying in the 17 years that she's been doing photography, she said when she started, half the weddings were in churches, and now she doesn't get that many. So there are not many weddings in churches anymore. I think we shouldn't charge, really. But then there is an argument that people do spend so much money on a wedding that an extra £500 or £600 for the church isn't really that much. And it's not just for the church as well; it's for the time that you spend with them outside of the wedding. So, and what's really strange is our church is a very pretty church, and sometimes when it was a very pretty church, you would get a lot of weddings, but we don't actually not much anymore, not many anymore. Leicester, back in 1966, I watched the World Cup final with my German pal, a fellow pupil of mine, who, funny enough, has a German surname, was exactly along the goal line and told me that, yes, the ball did go over. I saw that the other day. I don't know. I think they got the technology now. I'm sure they would have gone back and seen it go over. But it's not going to change now, is it? And we still won, so... Take advert. Yeah, I know you get. Just think that this is your way of supporting the channel, and I hope it's not too much of a disruption. JKK, just to play devil's advocate, could one not argue that Christian Concern argue for similar things? They would be more towards the theocratic end of political theology. Christian Concern. So I know Christian Concern. So let me just see. I saw that they were going on about something the other day. Yes. So there are some out there who will argue that for the whole government should be Christian and things like that. And I don't. And Christianity should. I as much. If it was, then it is. But again, I kind of think. So Jesus tells us that the door is narrow, or the gate is narrow, and there won't be that many people coming to know Jesus. So to get a whole parliament full of Christians who are actually called there and things like that, and actually get voted in. It'd be pretty hard. Could happen. Wouldn't say it wouldn't happen, but we don't forget, back in the Middle Ages, people were forced to go to church. It didn't make them Christian. You become Christian through a personal relationship with Jesus. You become Christian through you making that choice and believing. You don't become Christian because the government is Christian and telling you all this. I'm not saying that doesn't help people, if people in churches preaching the word, but not all churches preach the word. So, yeah, I've heard the arguments for Christian governments and things like that. I don't know if it would actually be helpful. I think, and I said this last week, what is actually helpful since I've become a Christian in the growth of Christianity is exactly what we're going through at the moment, with all this uncertainty, with the rise of Islamification in the country, with all the illegal immigration becoming a big political issue, with things like what happened this week with the defense secretary, not secretary, they call secretary, minister, defense minister, resigning, and no money, and just the politics of being so awful, with the cost of living crisis that we're going through. All of this adds to actually Square as a voice. By the way, my screen keeps going off, so I don't know if I keep going off, but hopefully you can still listen. But we lost that voice in the public square. Now we've got to regain it. But again, the church is so divided. But that's the Church of England. But you can also say other denominations are. I think what helps us in that more than anything is what we're going through now. It creates uncertainty in different people's lives. I can't see how. What did you call it? Theocracy. Christians ruling government would help. For Wayfair, God is on the throne, but God works through willing people. Yeah, absolutely. But I think my little argument there is, if no one was willing, God is still on the throne and he's in control and he's not surprised by any of this. And he can work through not, anything, but, not even us. So not even Christians he can work through. Billy, 10 years ago, it was a higher fee than for a funeral service in the church, but couldn't afford that. Thankfully, there was a chapel next to the crew, which was pretty too. Yeah, for weddings, I think it's not a barrier. I mean, just weddings are so low, but then there is a thing as well. This is an argument that people really shouldn't come to get married before God if they don't believe in God, and then don't take the sanctity of what holy matrimony is, and that's the danger, really, is I don't marry them as in by law. I do as a civil registrar would, but God joins them together, and that's a serious thing. And when people come and get married but don't take that seriously, then I think there are huge issues there that they're entering into. So the only way that we can do that as ministers is to warn them of this. And that's a question if ministers do. I do, because I think that's a loving thing to do. I think that's, if you're going to come to church, just beware of the consequences. Don't think about getting divorced so easily. So, Billy, image seems just stabilized. I don't know what's happening. Oh, it's just annoying, isn't it? Where do we get? Zoe said, hello, Zoe. Russell Valerie, Christian Concern are brilliant. They help me when I face disciplining at work. I do. I think they're really good in what they do. I think you just get to a point, and I think we're seeing this more now, where we agree theologically on a lot, but then how the outworkings of a lot are, the outworkings of how we live our faith could be pretty different. That's where we disagree. Catholic Night, Evensong is brilliant. Yeah, Evensong is brilliant. And I like BCP communion in the mornings. JKK, do you have any thoughts on the type of counselling Christians should get? Biblical counselling, integrative counselling, integrated Christian counselling, or is there enough common grace in secular counselling? I think some of active counselling, and I had to proofread a lot of her essays, and I forgot one of the guys' names now, but he was a very liberal Christian, and would have to try and remember his name. Some of his thoughts came from there. I think, what works, and finding a good counsellor, different counselling and different techniques work for different people and their needs. So I would always say, like, if you feel comfortable, I would go to, or if you want, go to a Christian counsellor. But if you feel that it's fine, and I wouldn't have a problem going with a secular counsellor, because they're good at their job, at what they're doing. This isn't necessarily a Christian thing, but as I said before, God works through people, and they have this gift, don't they? Counselling is a gift, and they have it. They just don't know where it's come from. They are using their gift, but they don't know the giver of the gift yet. So I think if you're in a bad place, a good counsellor, if they're not Christian, is exactly, we can't put it across the board. We go shopping in Tesco or Sainsbury's, they're not Christian. So yeah, we go with where it works to a certain extent, because if they're not good, we do boycott them. We probably, as Christians, should actually boycott a lot more than we actually do. Billy's, I just dropped this in at the moment. Han is asleep at the moment over in Singapore, and he will wake up in an hour, and he'll say, hey, just remember, at the moment it's like 3:30 for him or something crazy. Billy, let's not bring up the Middle Ages. Feels like the country is being dragged in that direction rapidly. Attempted RIP in the street. That poor soul lost both eye and nearly his head. I know. It is like... So I haven't done a video for 2 or 3 weeks, I think. One, because I'm just busy. Two, because, well, really, in the world at the moment, there really isn't any big Christian news, and you kind of just feel like you're dragging stories through just to say. And I think I'm going through my annual, please God, please take this burden away, which I do every year. I think I told you, I don't want to, this is not about fame. It used to be when I was a kid, of course. That's why I think most people on YouTube always would be actors or musicians or stuff, and it's giving us an outlet. But not this way. And so I think it's just culminated in a little hiatus. But there isn't any Christian news out there that is worth talking about. There's a lot of secular news, and I'm trying to get my head round a lot of this stuff, because it is absolutely crazy at the moment. It is crazy. In a response, and I'll tell you what, it's really challenging when I'm trying to hold, as you guys know, both truth and grace, and it makes you think theologically about a lot of stuff when stuff like that is happening. And yeah, but we'll get there. I'll get there. Anyway, General Synod's next month, so there's stuff will be coming up about that to whet my appetite of something. When you look at news and you think, oh, this is not news. Catholic Night, religious school, a good example of how you can make people Christian. Sorry, I'm very cynical about religious school. I was better for being a Christian in Christian school. Yeah, surprise, surprise, right? Yeah, I mean, some people grow up going to chapel. They go to private school, they go to chapel, and they just do it because they do it, and they might carry on going to chapel. Some will find faith, and some won't. Some will come in and say, you know, I like the service because I went to chapel and I enjoy it. But again, at the end of the day, enjoying a service doesn't get you to heaven. But it is a doorway that God can use to get people to come to know Him. So I never knock these things. I think there's every opportunity. Of course, as I said, as you know, I was an atheist, so of course God uses everything. HARLD. Yes, even sung a lovely service. Pity it's not done in so many churches now. Yeah, we gone down to once a month. One because of numbers and people to lead, really, to, trying to balance it. And I think that's a thing with a lot of churches. And again, if you got more than one church, it's, you know, you just be chasing your tail, and it is a shame. It is a shame. It is a shame. Billy and Heavy Novak dying in handcuffs after the person stabbed him was the first one to complain to officials. An island on fire. World surely needs prayer. It does. We are in a time at the moment. I don't think it's the end times. I think it'll get a lot worse. I mean, when Jesus does come back, I think it's not going to be this is going to be quite easy to live in than what could come. And we think it's hard. But you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, we're in the end times," but you can go throughout the centuries and people would have thought they were in the end times until they are. And then we might, I don't know if we'll ever understand what the end times will be like, probably thinking, well, glad I'm not in that generation. Catholic Night, the Catholic Church is because is what's that? Were you answering something? More divided, I think. I'm not sure. JKK, I never understood why people have their child baptized and then never come to church ever again. How can they live with that level of cognitive dissonance? It's, you know, there's a lot of cultural stuff there. And again, we need to, as ministers and churches, talk about what baptism truly is and the promises that are made. And I think people will do it because they think, you know, if my baby's not baptized and something happens, like they die, then they get into heaven. And or it's a cultural thing, you know, like my granny was, or I was baptized here, so I want my child baptized. And then we'll go have a lovely party, or you know, or it's like, oh, they're 1 year old now, we must get them baptized because that's the age you get children baptized, and we'll have all the family around. So, but it's for us again to go into that cultural Christianity. That's what it is, and speak about what baptism is. And what I say directly to parents is, we will, because the children aren't going to be brought up in the Christian faith. We will be praying for your child to become a Christian. So if your child becomes a Christian in the future, then you know you'll know why, because you brought them to baptism, and we're praying for them to become Christian. And that's kind of one way to offset that. That they're not brought up in a Christian faith home. TP, we are the 14%. Let's agree to disagree. Is that the Is that the poll? I can't see the poll. All I can see, the poll is saying watch 69%. And then on another screen, it says, oh, I know I can move it across. Oh, it doesn't say anything. It tells me to vote and then tells me to open browser. I can, if I end poll. Let's see what it says. Where's it gone? Well, I'll get down to it. JKK, I don't agree with their political theology at all, but I massively respect their bravery and the amount of money legal time that they can donate. I feel massively more able to sleep at night. Christian Concern, that is. Yeah, well, that's, they do what they do and they do it very well. And, there's times that I've always thought that I needed them. I never gone down the Christian Concern route. I got to know people from ADF International. So I know people there. I don't think I need them anymore, but you never know. You only have to say one wrong thing or one wrong sentence now. But I got, and they're the European version, and they're in a sense they're a lot bigger in one way. So I got them to back me up. But Christian Concern are very good, and it makes you feel like, yeah, I'm not alone in this when you've got good people who are for you. TP, I was up in Makerfield. Funny accent up there. Yeah, I haven't looked at exactly where it is on a map, but that's the big thing this week. To be honest, I think the vote will be split on the right side, and Andy Burnham will get in, and then we'll have the Labour formality of a leadership challenge where Burnham gets in, and then we'll see. But perhaps more people will come to church because of it. So, TP, we shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the colour of his skin. What is that? Am I missed something? Lester, many people say I don't believe in Jesus, but I'm a Christian. What would you say to them? Directly, I would just be very kind. Speak truth and love, really, because there's something to be worked with, because they're saying they're Christian. But if they're saying they don't believe in Jesus, is, well, if you take Jesus out of Christianity, there is no Christianity. Christ is literally in the word Christian, and to speak to them about that. And if they continue down that route, I would say the way you're heading is you will end up in hell. If you are a Christian, you believe in heaven and hell. But if you take Christ out of the Christian faith, you will end up in hell. And just warn them. I don't think we should be scared to mention hell or have those difficult conversations. They're not. We make it difficult because we feel that we're the ones who are speaking to them. I don't know why I got my hands. Sorry, I look funny because I got my hands behind my back, like I've been arrested. I don't know why I got my hands behind my back, but I have. Or we feel a bit uncomfortable because they're listening to what we're saying, and that's a bit difficult. But with things like that, it is really important. But also to know that they're on a journey. That they're on a journey of. They think they're Christian, so it's not too far to get them over the line. It's like, what's your issue? What's your issue with Jesus? What is the problem? JKK, counsellors are often called secular priests. Yeah, well, part of the priest role is to be a counsellor, but the amount of training the priest gets for counselling is ridiculous, and the stuff that priests have to carry and deal with is it's come up again. I'm going to go all buffery in a minute. There's a lot to carry. You share in people's trauma. It can be quite difficult sometimes. But God is with us, right? He's called us. He knows us. So we don't carry that burden alone. And that's what we got to remember. Zoe, I'd love to do Christian counselling as a career. It's getting the money together. Secular counselling can be as issues as they tend to make you the centre of the universe, not God. Made me worse. Yeah, and I can get that. But that's I forgot his name. It's person-centered counselling. It's begin with C. The guy did it. Used to be a Christian, but very liberal. Anyway, it can make you concentrate on you. But other things like I forgot the 3 letters, and I can't remember what they're called. But anyway, there's some techniques in counselling that can really help, but I forgot what it is. Billy, shall we whisper so we don't wake Hannah up too early? Kim, do you have an online service in your church? What's your thoughts on this? We are in the process of getting it. We might start. Oh no, we are in the process, and then I realised I'm on sabbatical, and it would be unfair for those who are going to cover my sabbatical to basically start that. So it will start later on in the year, and it'll start very simply before we can upgrade it. So basically, a single camera with a big long zoom. Because I've been requested from people who I go do home communions, and they really miss being in church. So when I go do home communion, I'll take the book that we're using in church, and we'll sit down and we'll go through that. So they're reading the same words that we're reading on the Sunday, and so in some way they feel a bit, connected to the church. Then when we're speaking, they're saying, we're about live streaming, and I'm asking, would you like to be able to watch the service? They're all saying, yeah, I'd love to, because so many people have been going to the church for such a long time, and then they can't, and they're getting old, and I suppose just watching, they'll be there. I think I might be buffering. Hopefully my voice will come through. But my thoughts are, it's a tool. It's a tool that is good. It shouldn't replace, but it can help those who can't get to church, whether they're ill or disabled. But it's not an excuse not to go to church. JKK, I use the term woke sparingly, as it can be a bit meaningless slur, but there is so much cost because So, my internet is going crazy. Bear with it. Just listen to me. Close your eyes, because all I'm saying is my video go crazy on the screen in front of me, my chat going crazy on the screen over there. Did I catch up? I think I'm a bit behind. Kath and I, everyone on this live stream, try and get involved in their churches and try to help lead stuff and support the minister. Absolutely. Michael, it's not just leftist identity politics. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have a drink. I'm on the beer. Tonight I'm on Marjorie. Is it Marjorie? Because the football, well, use that as an excuse. But I've only just opened it and it's cold. Last time I didn't drink that much and it got lukewarm. But this is cold enough to last, I hope. Billy, genuine question. And so I don't care about clothing day to day. But what should I wear to get confirmed as an adult? I crochet a white shawl, but I'm dyspraxic, will trip over dust and drop stuff. So I don't generally do white clothing. I mean, like, you only get confirmed once. So go something that you're comfortable with. Don't, some people who might not. So let's just go for a bloke point of view, because I'm a bloke. If I never wore a suit all the time, it's really nice to wear a suit. And it makes you feel good in that sense. So you're going to something special. But if I felt really uncomfortable in a suit, I'd be like, well, if you're going to sit there or be like that all the time, just, wear something that's smart, that you're comfortable in, because it's about the experience. But it's also nice to go to something that you like, that looking like you get dressed up. It feels nice. So, and when I spoke to a friend, I said, I'm going to meet the bishop when I was first going to get ordained. Well, in the process of looking at it, I said, I'm going to meet the bishop. What should I wear? I have no idea. And he said, look, Dan, it's not every day you meet the bishop. So dress it smart. So that would be my advice. Dress it smart, but be comfortable. And if you want to wear your white shawl, was it shawl? Then, yeah, then do it. Don't worry about it. And if somebody started a new role in our church a couple of weeks ago, and they said, well, what if I make a mistake? And I said, watch me closely in the service. You'll realize when you watch closely, I'll probably make about 17 or 18 mistakes in the service. It doesn't matter. So watch or listen. 69% of 29 people, 69% watch and 31% listen. There you go. No, I didn't realize that. Yeah. But you can listen to this, I suppose. You can do your other things and can listen to something like this. Oh, hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button. Let's play the YouTube game. Jake, I once knew someone at uni who became a Christian and a GF and Christian Concern. We attend Christian Concern conference a year or two ago. Christian Concern and other organisations were there. That's very cool. That's very cool. I don't know if you know Lois Miller. She's been around lately, and her husband Callum Miller. He was a doctor. I think he got cancelled. Is she American? Maybe. I think so. She it's her I know, and she knows people in ADF. I met her last year at the art conference. So good connections. Good connections. JKK, who do you think it's harder to reach? A Christian who falsely believes they are Christian, or a non-Christian who is very open to their non-belief? A Christian who falsely believes is harder to reach. And I wouldn't include that they're Christian, but including that, Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and things like that. Christians can be very stuck in their ways of what they believe. But yeah, they're harder to reach. But they're there though. They're there. It's trying to put them in the right direction, but they just think that you're wrong. They're going, well, you're wrong here. You just think differently to me. Which is the whole problem with the left and the right divide, or the yellow left divide in the Church of England at the moment, and many denominations, is the other side really thinking they are right, really are. But the trouble is they have to twist scripture. The amount of hoops they jump through is crazy, but they still believe that they're right. And I'm like, it's easier to read it for what it is and take it for what it is. Just read what God's written, rather than jumping through all these hoops and then justifying it. But they do that. Lester, I really respect what you've just said, Rev Dan. So many CV priests are so afraid of saying, oh, the other thing is, this is very annoying, is I changed my internet package. I'm still with Virgin, because Virgin in Chalfont and Giles offers the fastest speed. And all I did was lower my price. That's it. Lower the price. Still got the same speed, but the price went lower, a lot lower. And since I've changed that, when we've had the football on the TV, because we've got an internet TV, the football started buffering. So I'm wondering whether the internet has to do something with it as well. It might be that we have to come in early to land, because I'm just looking on this other screen and I'm just seeing the comments about buffering really badly. So what I don't want to do is just annoy people. Sometimes it's better to be short and sweet. Harry, too many unchristian adverts on my channel, brother Dan. You know what? I turned off all the ones that I think are bad. It's crazy because you can set what adverts come through. Maybe I make such little money. Maybe I should just turn them off. Saying that, the funny thing is, on the live stream, that's where you would make more money on adverts than you would on a video. So But I've turned off all the ones that I don't agree with, all the what would I call, not subjects, but all the categories that I would say no. So it's crazy that the ones that I'm allowing do unchristian adverts. JKK, do you think there are more nominalism in high church traditions like Anglo-Catholicism? I think there can be a perception that there is. My friend who I'm going around Europe with on the motorbike, getting to know him and seeing them, yeah, that can be the perception, but I think there are a lot who really do believe, but in the congregations, it can be one of those, traditional, very tradition, and liking the service, liking the choir, liking the smells and bells and things like that. And you can have that in Catholicism as well. So, yeah, I think I could agree in one way or another on that. Russell Valerie, we went to the Remain Not Silent conference in Swanage yesterday. It was well attended with lots more watch never seen. Remain Not Silent. What's that? I never heard of that. You'll need to explain. I never heard of that. Sound is fine. Yeah, working fine now. Billy, I'm very thankful for the audio recording of the service from your church, as I cannot attend in person. Yeah, today's so I did Psalm 8 last week. Today I did Psalm 110. That'll come out in a couple of days, I think. I don't know when it gets done, but it goes up. So, Sun Gone Now. It's like a silent movie. Catholic Night. You're on Asahi. Asahi. I think it's Asahi. TP. I am a victim. Lester, I can hear you now. No sound. Can anyone hear me? Oh, buffering like crazy. I thought my headphone had run out of charge. Audio's back now. Good, you're back. Yeah. It's just a nightmare. I'm going to have to spend, not tonight, but time to work out what is going on. Which is going right. We might just have an hour, because what I don't want to do, I noticed that the viewers dropped down to 12, and that's never good. So let's see. Catherine, I'm dyslexic and I want to read in the service, and was really terrified to do it until I started to pay attention, notice all the mistakes the readers and priests make, and that gave me confidence. Absolutely. I'm silent again. Right. Billy, God is the same God now and forever, so there sure is a lot of mental gymnastics involved for some of the modern ideas. I was just watching your video about the oak tree losing a branch. Yeah, that was that gives me hope. That old video, that was 2 or 3 years ago now. Billy, sounds like they may be slowing your internet. Maybe check your speed, your end, and then check back with them. Yeah, I should do that. Audio came back momentarily, but not back for the last 5 minutes. We'll close the app and try again. Sound back. Yeah. What I think we might do is, if it goes like this, we'll watch the football. Watch the football they just kicked off. Holland or Japan. Should be a decent game, I think. Yeah. Where are we? Catholic Night. Just to clarify, Asahi is a Japanese beer brewed in Europe. Oh, so I was going to say you're going to support Japan then, but if it's brewed in Holland, that would make it hard. Who are they going to support? Paul Wayfair, loud and clear in Oz, occasionally buffering. So this is going the furthest around the world, and you're not getting the gremlins in the system that we are. It's crazy. I just don't know what is happening this evening. The devil's in the detail, right? Billy, highlighted in dyslexia friendly colors, and also there was a Bible called the Grace Bible, also by Holman, that is a font for dyslexia. Yeah, what colour is it that you have it in? We're going to be updating our books soon. Well, maybe if I go. Well, the good thing in the Church of England and other denominations that follow an electionary Trinity lasts so long that by the time I need to do any other books, I'll be back from my sabbatical. That if we updated the Trinity book, we can do it in the other colours that help people see. Because that's the thing that we don't do. Lester, sorry, Dan, the glitching is terrible. I keep losing your voice. Does anyone else have this problem? Yeah, Billy, it's pretty stable. I don't know what, why, if I'm sending it out from this office worldwide, why it's okay for some people and then it's not for others. I just don't get that reason. And I'm seeing it's glitching for me. So it's going out for me and then it's coming back on my monitor in front of me and I see it glitching. So I get the same thing that you do. So my wife has just, I've got to text my wife back. This thing that we're waiting for has come through. Bear with me. Ah, how do you? There we go. Done. It can buffer now when I'm doing that. Hopefully it buffered then. Where are we? We fixed the bell today. Church warden on the roof, me at the top of the ladder, and our vicar fitting the ladder and praying. That's very cool. That's very cool. It could be one of those photos that gets into the Church Times and says, "Caption this." Catherine, the text in the reading mass books is massive. I have big text in my books now at church to help me. Billy, I'll send you the link in an email if you like. If that's me, I don't know what the context is, but I expect an email. That'd be a surprise. Catherine, and like an inch high. Well, that's huge. I mean, you could read that from the other side of the church. That's crazy. Russell Wellery, helpful retired vicar went by and told us about a friend who recently fell off a ladder and killed himself. Yeah. I get that a lot with motorbikes. You know, I get as most motorbike motorcyclists do. How many people tell you about the horror stories? I think more people are killed like crossing the road or something silly, but we don't ever hear those. No one ever goes up to them and says, "You crossed the road." Never cross the road. Crossing the road is dangerous. But yeah. Billy, the Grace Bible would be a good one to go for, as that comes with overlays of different colours and people can choose which one works for them. What colour is helpful for each person varies. Oh, okay. Mr. Baker, hello. Hello, Mr. Baker. We are going through buffering issues tonight. Buffering issues. I don't know if it's my program that I'm using or the internet connection. I updated the program and then I renewed my internet and one of them is broken. Oh, Catholic night. Why do not live stream where we watch the football together? Because you know what? It would be shut down. If you watch the football on the live stream, if you actually had the match, it would be shut down. If you were doing a Zoom or watching it, well, it'll be like this, really, looking like this, instead of looking at the camera. Catholic night, Mr. Baker, he's Catholic night, and hi Catholic night and everyone. I had a fun Sunday afternoon actually playing in a charity cricket match. That's quite cool. That's fun. That's fun. Oh, did you win? Did you bat? Did you bowl? What happened? Give us the details. Oh, it's gonna buffer again. Oh. Catholic night, the colour really The colours don't really help me. It's more to do with the level of stress and time spent reading, but everyone is different. Oh, okay. I mean, not have them match up just like as a group chat thing. Oh, okay. Yeah. Lex Davis, Rev Dan, does the book of Revelation prophesy a one world order before Jesus returns? I don't think so. As the way that we would say it. Let me see. Because what we mean by one world order, that's what I'm just checking, is not what. It's going crazy. Everything's not working. Huh. Yeah. So, if we take it from like Revelation 13, where the beast is given authority over every tribe, every people, every language, every nation, then that could be supposed as a one world order. But what probably I think your question is saying is one world order is coming basically from people, isn't it? Trying to harmonize everything and make it all one world order. And so so it does, in one way, there will be something like that, but I don't think as the world is speaking about at the moment, if you get me. I'm worried here because my it's buffering again. Beach Boy, why is, just tell me if I kind of got that answer. It's a big question, but if I answered it properly. Beach Boy, why is YouTube trying to tell me that St. Paul made everything up after the Gospels? Well, no, that's taking it. One of the earliest letters. Oh, which one is the earliest letter? Is actually written before the Gospels were written. He wrote a letter before the Gospels were written, so he can't be making it up if he's writing something before the Gospels were ever written down. Russell Valerie, at the conference yesterday, there was testimony from an Elim church minister in Poole where they had an audible manifestation of so far. They played it very spine tingling. All right. Oh, yeah. And what was that? They had one sec. They had an audible manifestation. They play. So that just like it came out of nowhere, and they caught it on audio. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm reading, I think. Mr. Baker, thank you for asking. I got 2 wickets but scored a duck. A duck or golden duck? A duck. Maybe a duck. Catholic night. I hope all the church unite into one church. That would be awesome. That would be Jesus returning and us being in heaven. It would be, but it's not going to happen. Mr. Baker, there are more buffers than Waterloo Station. I tell you what, it is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Billy, sound is on, but it's flipbook animation on the video stuff. Yeah, I think we might come into land soon because it's just annoying me just as much. Billy, slow internet could also be down to the number of people online at the same time. So given here is the footy and people on more on the one screen, that takes a lot of cables it can carry. You're right there. You're right there. We got more than we're on a high internet. We got more than a gig. When they say that, it's not a gigabyte. It's always so much less. But you pay extra to get to make sure it's got a good quality. Because the stuff I do, the amount of time, I was uploading stuff and just making things quicker. And I got a teenage son as well. But so that is annoying. So we should not get buffering on our football, is what I'm saying. We should not get buffering. So I might have to give them a call and make sure. So hopefully by next Sunday, all of this will be absolutely fixed. Lizzie, hi Rev. What are there other members using the internet at your home at the moment? My techie husband reckons they could be causing the buffering. No, it's Sunday night, so if my wife and daughter are in bed now, and if my son was, I'm streaming the football, but I always stream on my live streams. The think it keeps knocking out the internet. I see it. Frustration. You know the funny thing though, right? The football hasn't gone off once. The football hasn't buffered at all. The football hasn't buffered, so maybe it's not my internet. Maybe it is Streamlabs update, because this happened a few months ago. The settings were updated, and it's not getting enough thing out there, and it turns off. I just seen at the top it says live, and it's now saying I've been live for 30 seconds. So it literally cancels and starts again. Right. Paul Wafer, I've been testing out AI on its understanding of Christianity, and it has a Roman Catholic bias. Have to tell it specifically to give a Protestant perspective. There's one that I was testing for this group that I know, Rastro AI or something, and it was very Catholic, very Catholic, very, very Catholic. So I kept arguing to it from a Protestant point of view. That was fun. Mr. Baker, what's so far, please? Is it something Sean Connery has in his living room? Translated as trumpet in most Bibles, yeah. Made from a ram's horn. You can hear it in the link I posted above. Oh, is there a link? No, I didn't see a link. I didn't see a link. Billy's Craft, maybe the streaming server. I couldn't imagine YouTube, their server being really bad with the amount of money they make. I think it is my update. And the funny thing is, I haven't updated for ages. This program will not update if you've got like a browser open. I've got two things open on a browser and a diary app that I use. If they are open, I cannot update this thing. So I haven't updated it for ages. My camera, this program wasn't opening, so I turned my computer off, and then it said, do you want to update? And I thought, oh yeah, let's just update. Let's get that out of the way. And then all manner of problems. Have you used StreamYard? Some other YouTubers use that one. Yes. In fact, I was thinking of moving back, and I downloaded it over to OBS Studio, which is a free version. Well, this is the free version of Streamlabs, but it's based on OBS Studio. Maybe I do that. But that requires a bit more setup. Streamlabs does just do it for you. That's the advantage. It usually works quite well. So I didn't see, Russell Valerie, the link. If you could post that again. What I wanted to do was, and I've been so bad at this. If you're coming to see me in my parish, I think it's 2 weekends time. It's going to be only a few of us because I haven't pushed it. Being really bad. So it'd be more time with me, more intimate. So if you wanted to come, if you are not doing anything on the 27th of June and want to come down to the parish and see what I'm doing, you can click on the event and come down. Free event, and it'd be good. I might make a video on Tuesday about, unless any big news comes out about my trip and things, to update that, because I'm not pushing that either. I'm like the world's worst at promotion and doing those things, and I don't even know my the, what do you call it? I don't even my link went up. I wonder if it's because I posted it. My link. I wonder if because I posted it, it did. Billy, your parish looks beautiful. The parish is stunning. You know, this parish, I was thinking that today, is a very beautiful parish. The church is lovely. The church is absolutely stunning. The village is very beautiful. It is a nice place to go. And in the spring and summer, we do get a lot of tourists down to come and visit as well. Oh, the GoFundMe thing. Well done, Billy. No, it's not GoFundMe. It's I have no idea. The links. I had a website with links, but now the website where I had all my links is not working, so I can't even get the links up. Here it is. Oh, it's Give Send Go, isn't it? Give Send Go. I don't know why I'm giving it to you, because you're the faithful. I shouldn't be going to you to highlight this, but I think I'm so desperate. I will go highlight it to other people. On Tuesday, I'll do an update video about where I've gone again. So, I'm just writing my email for Russell Valerie. I think that's right. I can't see it without my glasses. One sec. I can't see what I've written. It's amazing that I can read everything without putting these on. Because it's got little eyes, that's why. There's my email. 2 priests, 2 bikes. My friend, oh yeah, so you can. So my friend texted me, Father Matthew, and he, what did he do? I think he's a bit ADHD like me. He said, he texted me and said, right, brain dump. I was like, okay. And it was like loads of stuff come through about tracking the trip. He said, not just where we're going, but where we have been, because we're not going to decide until the day or the night before where we're going to go the next day. And he wanted to track it. And then he's like, oh, so I was looking at these different ways, and now I bought a GPS tracker, and now I got this website, and now we got 2holybikers.com and 2holybikers.co.uk. And then he went on to ChatGPT to build a website, and he sent all this information, and my response to him was, have you been tested for ADHD? So, and he said no, and I said, don't worry, you don't need to spend the money, you are. So so he's getting that set up, and also the 2holybikers.co.uk at the moment, it goes to his website, and I could put my window down, and so you can see that from his perspective, but you'll be able to watch us. I think he's setting it up so you can literally watch us live as we go around in one way or another. So, and I need to get my Gmail open for Russell Valerie. and await that to come through. So that's the blog that he's writing everything on and getting set up. So he's doing all the techie stuff. We're meeting up this week to ride our bikes together and test out the techie things. And he sent me a photo of his bike and said, "This is all my bike with everything packed up." And it's got 2 panniers and 1 duffel bag on the back. And I'm like, wow, like that's hardly anything. And then I went, wait up, how many liters is that? And he's like, well, the panniers are 50 liters each and the duffel bag's like 70 or something. So he said, oh, I've got 170 liters. I'm like, well, my bag is packed out with bags because my panniers only hold 28 liters. That's 56. So one of his panniers is what 2 of my panniers hold. Then I got my top box, it's about 50 liters, but you can't put that much weight in the top box. So then I got a 50-liter bag. So I'm like, okay, so I've got less than 150, technically 150 liters, but a lot less. They still got 20 liters more than me. So I'm working out how I carry everything or how we split things. So that will be interesting. That's part of what we meet up to do. So I'm just going to check that you're still there because no one said anything for a while, unless you're looking at the websites, because usually there's chat, and I'm just worried that now I've just been speaking to myself for 10 minutes and there's no one. Just someone say hello just to make sure that you're still there, that I haven't gone on a little rant. Billy, oh, love a good brain. Oh, good, you're there. Love a good brain dump. Mine's been a rough this week, and again, 88 stay against autism. It's like a good cop, bad cop in my brain. Yeah, Kathleen, like, hello, good. Sorry, Rich is still here washing up. Good. That's just like usually chat's going on as I'm rapiding on, and I was rapiding on. There was no one, so I'm either there looking at the websites or I've gone off. Do I wear leathers? I wear textile. I'm much more a venture bike person, and so let me see if I can get a photo of my bike with my setup. I did take one the other day. Not fully. I might need to try and get a couple of bags. Oh, when I say the other day, I mean like weeks ago. Oh yeah, that was weeks ago. Let's wait for that to download. Can I? Have I just done that and then I can't upload a photo? I don't think you can upload photos there, can you? Huh. How do I work this out? How do I make this? I did have. I had all these old things set up from when I used to. No, not that one. This one. But it's all, the camera's not. That one doesn't work. That one works. But it's not all set up as nicely as this. And I did have something with website. I look at that. That's for when I was using a website. But I wonder if I can use the. I have to go on there. What am I capturing? No, it won't. No. My thing is so far behind because of the buffering. My live stream is so far behind because of the buffering. That's so simple, isn't it? Hold my phone up to the computer. There's my mind going technological. There. I just changed my phone over, so now I can't see again. before. There we go. The trouble is, I now have to, because that'd be blurred, I have to refocus. There we go. That's my bike with my bag on and my panniers. But that's still less. I'm a bit out of focus now. There we go. That's still a lot less than my friend's bike. And so I might have to get more stuff on there. So yeah. CP, good night, Wally Bears. Good night, CP. Billy, mini you and the logo on the button. You just reset mini me. Yeah, yeah. I think that was the easiest thing, holding it up to the to the camera. Lester, Ratcatch is still here. A friend of mine from Oz is on tour of Europe on his motorbike, and he has motorbike clothing that has an airbag if he were to come off. Yeah. And that's the thing. So I got a new helmet. I've updated my clothing to buy a lot, not safer, but a lot more protection that if I came off. But it's only in the event that you come off. That's the thing, isn't it? It's an interest. I kept thinking this. You're spending all and good money to spend, absolutely. But you only ever really get the benefit of what you're paying for if you crash, and you don't want to ever have the benefit. So it's like, I want the best thing that can protect me, and I don't want to ever use it. So it was so Russell, whatever that you're here as well. I think because lagging behind, you might. I wonder if you lagged as well. Billy, hold your hand up next to the phone, then focus, then grab at the same time. We've got the focus there. Yeah, there we go. Email finally sent. It wouldn't let me copy and paste it. Wow. Right. I didn't get anything through. But that might be because did I write it badly? Oh, I might have did the wrong email address in my haste. I just copied it here. Here you go. Here's the right email address. If I didn't, that's it. I don't know what I might have put. No, I put it. Copy that. That will make sure it might take a while getting through. Boy Warfare. Once, when younger, did approximately 5,000 kilometer road trip on motorbike. Highest priority is comfortable seat. Yeah, yeah. My brother asked me the other day how far you going, how many days, and I told him, and he's like, his first text back was sore bum, and I think, yeah, I haven't got that yet really on the seat. I need to that's probably my next priority. Billy, my cousin came off a bike not wearing leathers, and she skinned her knees down to the. Yeah, that's the thing. This is the thing. It's so like when you come off, like even at any speed, it's, I mean, no, I can't even watch those videos. People coming off a bike, anymore. I used to, but when you see them come off a bike and they slide on the ground, I just know the damage that can be done off a motorbike. So even at a lesser speed, it's like I wouldn't even want to watch. Leicester, there's a big motorbike clothing shop near me in Leighton, East London. Might right, I might lose contact as I'm dropping something round to a neighbour. Okay. Oh, Mr. Baker. Okay, yeah. Back soon. But if you get it, there's a thumbnail of the video that was recorded. Okay. Let's see if anything's come through. Try again. And we'll see. Billy, You can get padded underwear for horse riding, maybe helpful bikes too. Yeah, they do padded underwear for biking. So it probably not padded underwear. It's just the amount of space that we have to take everything around. There's a practicality. My friend's experienced at this, and I'm not. So, but that's why I'm going to be speaking to him this week when we get together for all the practicalities that he's learned and I haven't yet. Billy, I think paramedics call bike riders organ donors. So, I mean, well, the one thing with a bike, you are outside. There is no protection apart from the protection that you wear. There is an engine between your legs, and a lot of car drivers who do not take notice. And once you come off, there's nowhere to go except for the way that we're heading, in the direction we're heading, and that could be into a tree or another car. So, but on the other side, there's nothing like riding a bike. It stops you thinking. I mean, like if you got ADHD and stuff like that and your mind's all over the place, you haven't got time to lose concentration. You are so in the moment. And I don't go fast, but as soon as you introduce cars into the equation, you can go slow, but you have to concentrate. You have to be so aware. People on motorbikes are more aware of what's happening on the road than car drivers, so much more. Your senses are heightened. MF, do you believe in a literal or metaphorical Adam and Eve, and if so, why? I would believe in a literal Adam and Eve, and why? Because the Bible, it's told us in the Bible. Now, how everything works within all of that, we have to understand. When you read the account of Genesis, it's clear that there are, when they get sent out into the world, and with Cain and Abel, there are others around. And so, I believe that other stuff is happening, but because of there, I think some people will go, well, it's metaphorical because I just can't believe it. Well, if it's there, and Jesus talking about Adam and Eve, and in the New Testament, then we just have to take it for what it is. So yeah, that's where I would be. Billy, there's an ad that keeps running on YouTube. Does vacuum clothing bags, and there's a handheld thing to shrink the contents that go with you, if that's any help. So, Billy, hyperfocus. Yeah, hyperfocus. Ogden, evening to you. I don't know if it's buffering anymore. Is it buffering? Oh, it's got everything on my stream here, where it's gone wrong. Error. Stream is healthy. Like 825, stream healthy. 827, no data. 827, stream is healthy. 844, no data. 844, stream healthy. 845, error. Since 9:14, there's been no issue. So I wonder where. I wonder what. So, Billy found Ephesians chapter 2 helpful today. Is that in the lectionary? We're not in the lectionary at the moment. So is that the lectionary? Han, sorry, late arrival due to time different. Good morning, Han. Good morning. We spoke about you about an hour ago, saying that you were asleep, and we respected that. And you missed all the buffering and all the latency issues that we've had, which has been a complete nightmare. Catholic Night, really refreshing to have you say you believe in a literal Adam and Eve. Not at the moment. Paul Wafer, always assume car hasn't seen you. You may have the right way, don't assume car will give it to you. Yeah. as my brother said to me a few years ago, just assume that everybody in the car, in a car, is trying to kill you. And that was one of the best pieces of advice I had, because people in the car are trying to kill you. Ogden, the audio is popping in and out. Yes, it depends if you're live at the moment. I don't think there's any issues at the moment, but if you're slightly lagging, or not lagging behind, but if you're behind, there are terrible issues. There are bad issues. Billy, hi, Han. Welcome to the party. Dan's having issues with the internet tonight, so his screens may freeze and the sound is continuing okay. Depending on where you are, Han. If you're in Australia, the signal is far better than if you're literally in my office, going from this monitor to this monitor coming out is crazy. So, Billy, Pilgrim Journey book 40 Days of Reflection on the Beatitudes is what pointed me towards Ephesians 2. Oh, okay. So, your own thing. So, as I am, I said last week that I'm going to start doing more stuff on my social media, talk about promoting myself. I, for the trip. So, I went to take a photo of my new helmet, and I took it a bit too close. And then I wanted to put it on Instagram first. And it wasn't square enough. And then I gave up. So my attempt for self-promotion again absolutely failed. But I will, if you do follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, then I will try to do kind of like daily updates or something as I'm going around my trip somehow. I don't know how, and I don't know where, and I don't know when, but I might do that. Or no, not might. I will try. Not even try. I should. So I will try, so you can see, if you are interested at all, where I'm going and what I'm doing. Billy, in addition to the Bible, what other literature would you recommend for someone preparing for confirmation? I there are books. I think we had a whole load of books for our last that were still in our church, and they found it helpful. I haven't read it myself. It was given to them. I think it's Being Christian by Rowan Williams. They found that helpful. But off the top of my head, I would also say Pilgrim's Progress is incredibly helpful on that Christian journey, and what you have to face. I think so. That would be good. But anybody else who's been through confirmation, who've had something good, that would be good to mention. Lizzie, I agree regarding Adam and Eve. It seems unbelievable, but scientists have traced European DNA back to one couple. So it sort of makes sense if you continue to trace back to the beginning. Well, and it goes back to the flood as well, doesn't it? Where it went down to a few people after that as well. And if may ask somewhat related question, Rev Dan, in your personal opinion, do you think the use of online, be it social media or just the internet wise, is extremely crucial for Christian evangelism? I think it is nowadays, absolutely. And many years ago when the internet started coming off, it's coming out, Christians, I think, were a bit wary of it. But, if we're evangelizing in the most war-torn places in the world, if we got Christians going out to countries and they can't even say which countries they're in for the safety, not only them, but those people around them, I think we can go on the internet. And I think we do. My worry is, and I said this before, is the quality, is that anyone can go on the internet and say anything. And because it's out there, and if they sound quite convincing, bad teaching can get out there. And that is a worry, both for the people listening, but also the person, because as soon as you put yourself out there as a teacher, when we come to Judgment Day, we're going to be judged as a teacher with a higher standard. So I think it's increasingly important that we engage with social media as Christians now. Lester, I am an ex-motorcyclist and I am so much more aware of motorbike riders. So you car drivers out there, please look over your shoulder, checking your blind spot before pulling out. Now, absolutely. And that's why they say beware biker or beware bikers. There are bikers that go extremely fast. And I can't go that fast. I don't know how they do it. I mean, like, one mistake and they're gone. But that's why they do it, because it's living on the edge. But I don't go that fast. And I remember once so you can get apps and you can just put in the app, send me on a 30-mile ride in a circle, right? And it'll go. And the good thing with these apps, it sends you down roads that you would never go down in a car. You would never do. I've discovered roads that have been very cool. And I remember when I got down here 4 years ago, I went on a ride and it sent me on this long ride. And I went on this straight road. And in the middle of this, I saw on the map, it's like, say it's a long straight road. And in the middle, I had to turn left. And so I was just going down this road and I slowed down to turn left. And as I was getting to this junction, the car didn't stop at the junction, probably a local, thinking no one ever comes down that road. It just came out and turned right. And I thought, when I realized, had I continued straight, by the grace of God, this was a God's thing, I swear, I would have hit that car right in the side. Maybe I might have gone over. Maybe I might not have gone over, which would have been worse, because he didn't stop. And it was just like so quick and so out of your control. So out of your control because of decisions by everybody else. Billy, Affinity is free editing software on camera. Do you want me to email the photo and I'll make it square if you don't have the tech? No, thank you, Billy. It's just the patience. I got an app on my phone which makes the photo square. I just was too close to the helmet. So when I made it square, it was basically like this. Instead of having the top and the bottom, instead of being like this, it was like this. And that wasn't great. So it's just me, but thank you, very kind. Russell Valerie, video and audio okay. Yeah, now. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe I'm going back to the internet. It was the internet. Maybe. Nil in the football in the first half. So, where are we? Try to write it all down. What was the name of Rowan's winning book? I think it's called Being Christian. I think it is. Oh, Han continued. Also important subjects such as biblical theology, polemics, and apologetics have a strong overall outreach online again, be it social media or internet web-wise. It does. Look at the 2 interviews by Diary of a CEO with Wes Huff and the Irish professor John Lennox. How viral they got going on a secular program. And you see Bartlett, what's his name? I forgot his first name. Being really challenged by what they say and his comments. So social media is amazing for that. Siv, good evening, Siv. Happy you joined us. Lizzie, the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis I found really helpful. It's funny too. Yeah, Screwtape Letters are very good. Very good. And funny. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be funny, but very funny. H-A-R, Hall. I'm just going to say Hall. Do you still give the In His Presence book to children preparing for confirmation? I've still got mine. No, we don't. Well, we don't. Maybe other churches do. I'm slightly on edge for the internet to go wrong. I'm still waiting for it to for something to buffer. So I tell you what I should do. I should get a really uncomfortable seat and sit on it in preparation for my trip to get my bum prepared for my motorbike. So, and thank for the explanation, Rev Dan. Asking this as more, and especially since post 2020 lockdown, it seems that Christian Bible teaching through the internet has become almost native in a sense. Yeah, it has, and there's some really great people. It's just a case of discerning who those people are. Understanding we might not agree on the theology, but they got the core there. No, on all the theology that they hold, but they got the core there, and being able to go to them. That's the thing, is sifting through all that's out there. Billy, I said, Lester, the old government slogan was think once, think twice, think bike. That's it. JKK, if it's okay to send kids to a Catholic school if you're a reformed evangelical. Well, with a caveat. I say that because my daughter went to a Catholic preschool, but she was very young. Catholic schools tend to be really good in the teaching and the ethos, and a good Christian ethos. We used to have one in my curacy town, which was Princess Risborough, and it's since closed down. And that was very good in its teaching. It was a private school. But in High Wycombe, and they opened one in Aylesbury, there's a Catholic school, and it was in my parish, and a lot of people wanted to get in there, and they wanted me to sign. Being a non-Catholic, you were quite down low on the list, but you were on the list. So there's one thing about they're going to get a good education. There's another thing that there is a Christian ethos there, and that's a really good thing for your beloved children. And so those are two positive. As a Reformed evangelical, that there are issues around the Catholic doctrines of what they believe. And I've been in some of the Catholic schools, and they got so many statues of Mary around and things like that. And I think there's a caveat. So I would, but I would explain to my children what exactly it is and why we wouldn't agree with everything. So, yeah. Basically, because, what sways it for me is the Christian ethos in a whole secondary school or primary school. And the really good teaching. And maybe that's selling out, but my kids, it's really important. But like I said, you balance it out by speaking to them about what we don't agree with. But the Catholic schools also know they get a lot of kids there who aren't Catholic because of those reasons, because they do good teaching. Where am I? Oh yeah, Billy, drag on the diagonal corners, then it could resize it proportionally if you drag on the top of. I tried. I've just been lazy. I took my helmet out of my garage and I took a photo in the kitchen, and I should have just done it again. And I'll do that this week. And then you'll see. JKK, Michael Jones, inspiring philosophy is also really brilliant. Been going really hard on Islam lately. Cool. There's another suggestion. Siv, Rev, when God took the firstborn of Egypt, why he took all the firstborn? There might be some good peoples, might be there, right? See, why did God's judgment on Egypt include innocent firstborn children instead of those only responsible for the oppression of Israel? So, Siv, if you, I still might, Siv, big questions and bigger ones than I would want to just answer here. If you send me an email, because I know that you're on a journey as well and you've got a lot of big questions. So that's my email for my Rev Dan. Send me those questions and then I'll spend time giving you some good answers, and send me any other questions that you have as well, that you've asked over the past couple of weeks and things, because with those questions I can tell that you are really thinking, you're getting into nitty gritty of things being unfair, but they're not. They seem unfair in the way that we look at them, from how we look at them. But we also got to remember, as Christians and even non-Christians, for God, this is God's world and they're his rules. And so when people go against, if his punishment is, or if he says this is what's going to happen, that is his way of doing things. But there's a lot more there. So send me an email and I will get back to you. But good questions. It's good that you already think about these things. Billy, sword of Damocles, waiting for the sword to fall. I'm lost there. Sorry, Billy, and I'm not sure the context. Russell Valerie, yesterday's conference, they had 2 Israeli pastors, one Arab and one Messianic Jew. They were telling us about a terrorist who had filmed his own crimes. He denied it was him and said it was the devil. Oh, yeah. Not taking responsibilities for one actions, I think that's called. So, welcome back, Miss Baker. Catholic night. In my experience, Catholic schools don't have many Catholics in them. No, but the standard is quite high. I mean, like when I had to sign the forms, I remember number 1 was Catholic who received communion, and number 2 was Catholic who didn't receive communion, then kids in the parish and things like that. So I think like other Christians were number 6. And just to add, it seems more and more of the Islamic Dawa gang and the hyper-aggressive ortho bros lot tend to dominate the religious debate and preaching circle now online. Younger gens get drawn in. The hyper aggressive ortho bros. I don't. Who are they? Are they Christians? You talk about Christians? Yes. All this does. They will dominate because people get drawn in, and they always will. That's what will happen, and the devil will manipulate. What they have to realize, and this is the thing they must realize, is that they will stand before God to account for all their doings and sayings. And you might be popular now here on earth, and you might get quite a following with what you're saying, but if it's not of God, then be wary. Jacob Care. A lot of parents start attending Catholic church prior to secondary school to get the children to Catholic school in my local area. Yeah. Yes. That is a blessing and a curse of that. It gets people in, and that's good. But that's where you must preach the gospel week after week and speak into their lives. Let the Holy Spirit do his work and pray for them, because you want them to hear the gospel and respond. They might come for the school, but they stay for Christ. And so that's really important. But it's also, if you get a lot of people coming and then once they get in, they'll never come back. But you know what? As annoying as that is, I would rather that happen, because all these people who would never really be in church are. And so it gives an opportunity. And I'm an evangelist at heart more than anything. And so I would prefer that, because otherwise what they're doing at home or doing something else. Leicester, I went to a Catholic school, St. Saviour's in Calcutta, and one former pupil there after me was Ganguly. Ganguly? And my school in England was Church of England was Forest School, and a former pupil was Nasser Hussain. Ah, is Ganguly a cricketer as well? That's very cool. Can play, but Mr. Baker, I wonder if Mr. Baker played against him today. Mr. Baker, I do suspect that happens. Yeah. Catholic night, I find it frustrating because the numerous of family that attend Catholic school don't translate to all the family attend a church of any denomination. I know that that is the frustration. At the same time, God have mercy on me. Sorry, it's fine. It is a frustration when that happens, but it's also an opportunity. Paul Wayfair, on the internet, there are a lot of evangelical atheists. They try very hard to destroy Christianity. Art Bart Ehrman, Alex O'Connor. Yeah, this is the thing. And get such followings, right? Such followings. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I think Alex O'Connor's on a journey. I think he's on a journey. The more you debate these Christians and good Christians who are really good at debating, the more you're going to be hearing the truth. And, you know, his truth, I don't think, can stand up over time. Lester, can anyone say that they have attended two schools with two international captains? Forest is the original football playing school on the board of the FA. It was set up. Lol. No, maybe they couldn't. That's very cool. That's very cool. Billy, there was a clip going around where a scout type group had gone to an Islamic place of worship. Most of the group bowed down as shame, but this one kid refused. It seems that a scout group would go there. You know, that's just the way of the world at the moment. I think it always has been. They give equal. They're supposed to give equal to all religions, but and so you know we have to be fair. They might have gone to a church before because everyone goes, "Oh, they gone to the scout. They gone to this Islamic place," and everyone jumps on that. But did they check that they haven't also been to a church as well? I know a school who every year they'll go down to the what do you call it? They go down to the kind of local mosque or somewhere in North London, but they'll also go to a local church as well. So, you know, but good on that boy who didn't. He just said no, don't. I'm not going to. But also, I got kids when I do assemblies at the local school who are from different religions being in the assembly. And when I say, you know, we're going to pray, we'll join in, you know. So some kids just don't fully understand, in a sense, what they are doing in one way or another, and some do. And orthobros is a subsection of Christendom, religious nationalism. They tend to use Eastern Orthodox profile pics while taking down evangelicals and Protestants as too weak and effeminate. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I see that. Kind of got that as well here. Kind of got that here, but not Eastern Orthodox. I like that orthobros. But they're out there as a tag, as a good thing. Billy, as I thought the Scout and Guardian movement was a Christian organisation. It was many years ago. It was set up, and now it's moved so far away, which is sad. It's a sad thing. Also, Valerie, it was because Pharaoh had done the same to the Israelite babies. I find nice stuff. Yeah. Yep. And we'll get into that, and we'll get into what changed as well. Billy, 10 p.m. Yeah, it is 10 p.m. 10:03. Not bad. I'm only 3 minutes out. JK, Alex O'Connor is the only truly open-minded atheist out there. Well, he's gone from atheist to agnostic. So he is on a journey. He's on a journey, which is very good. Which is very good. And we're all on a journey. So we're going to come into land before the second half starts. Leicester. There was a visit to our local CAV church, St. Peter's Chigwell, and one of the teachers, Muslim lady, said to the little pupils, "Please be quiet and show respect because this is a place of worship." Yeah, you get some of the Muslim ladies in our school who are helping out, and when the kids come down, they sit there, and I speak about Jesus very openly, as you guess that I would, and so they're there, they're in the building, they know that they're coming into church. So, and looking at some of the clips recently of Atheist O'Connor, he does seem a little less anti-religious. I think when he was at Oxford University, he was very atheist, but now I think he's quite agnostic. JKK, we had a very liberal Jewish rabbi come out to our assembly and said that he enjoyed asking questions more than giving answers. Lol, I don't know what's the appeal of being a Jew then. Yeah, I mean, like when in any religion or denomination, when they're that liberal, you got to question what they really do believe. And at the moment, it's the liberal side is just crazy liberal. Billy, thank you, Rev Dan, and everyone who was here tonight for this safe space. Thanks be to God. Absolutely. JKK, my old church has a sign on its toilets which says we welcome people of any gender. Leicester, I like listening to Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson needs our prayers. It could be the last that we see of Jordan Peterson. I think he's just ill. I don't know if he'll recover. He'll need our prayers because he changed a lot of the world with what he's done. I met him. Got my photo with him. Yeah, very brilliant mind and what he has gone through. I hope he does get back, but he needs our prayers. Well, let's just pray for that, huh? As we finish, usually pray for something, and that's a good subject. Let's pray for Jordan Peterson. Heavenly Father, we pray for Jordan Peterson, pray for his wife, Tammy, and their children. Pray for what he's going through. Lord, we know he's on a journey of faith, and we pray that he does in this time come to know you. We thank you that his wife has come to know you, and we pray for his healing in your will, Lord. And may he know this night peace and your love with him. Amen. So, good. Thank you for persevering with me tonight. So, it's easy for me to sit here. It's so frustrating, but I don't know. This is what some YouTubers do, isn't it? They're like this. Some are even like this. Put that there. Look, I got a microphone, everyone. But thank you for persevering with the the issues. And I will try to sort them out for next week. But we end here on another night. Whatever you're doing, stay safe and know that, as I said earlier, that God is on the throne, no matter what you're going through. I preached on Psalm 110 today, and, Jesus interceding for us, that right at this moment, he is interceding. He's the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, but he's also the priest of the order of Melchizedek, as Psalm 110 says. And he says to the Pharisees in Mark 12. And he's praying for us right at this moment. And, and I said, when someone says, Dan, we're praying for you, that gives me such confidence and hope. And it makes you feel like warm and fuzzy that people are taking the time to pray for you. But Jesus is praying for us. And so know that whatever you're going through, Jesus is not far away. He is praying for you right this moment. And that gives us hope. So know that. Take that into this week. And I'll see you next week. Bye.